When Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, he outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustice of this decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. Valentine's actions were discovered. Claudius ordered that he be put to death. He was locked in prison and fell in love with the jailer's daughter. Like, you lock me in here and I'm gonna mess with your life by dating your daughter. She used to come every evening to meet him, because at that time her father's shift got over and someone else's shift started, a highly organized prison ahead of its own times. They used to exchange a lot of things. Sometimes bodily fluids, sometimes envelopes. They used to play a game called Word of the Day, where every day they would exchange a word and think about dirty things related to that word. And then, when her father would get all his goods and get ready to leave, without his knowledge, they would exchange their thoughts and receive the word for the next day. Claudius wanted him killed on the 14th of Feb. So that meant no more dirty games, no exchanges of anything. Valentine had befriended a crow who had given him company every day. So on the 13th night, he found a test tube in the corner of the prison. Don't ask how, opportunities arise and you just go with it. God works in mysterious ways. He faps in the test tube and writes her a poem and wraps the paper around the test tube and asks the crow to give it to her. The crow was hesitant at first, but they had known each other more than that to outgrow weird feelings. The crow takes the test tube and delivers it to the jailer's daughter, and she opens the paper wrapped around the test tube, looks at the white stuff, and just reads the poem, which says, "Roses are red, violets are blue. I am colorblind, and this is not glue. Do the right thing, would you? Bear my baby, I love you. From your Valentine." She immediately knew what to do. She impregnated herself, and after 8 months they had a baby called Cupid. A premature, lovable, homosexual baby. He learnt archery but used it for all the wrong reasons. The boys wouldn't understand what he was doing to flatter them, but he had bruises on his buttocks every evening. He grew up embracing his homosexuality and loved his body so much that he decided to wear boxers and roam around with a bow and an arrow, which was his signature look. He always thought he was special or something. After mastering archery, he tried his first shot. He shot at an injured bird in the woods. To his surprise, the bird flew away and lived a long and happy life of exactly 3 years. The bird actually flew away in an attempt to save its own life. Next shot, he hit Claudius in the heart as a revenge for his father's death. Claudius ended up dying. The next arrow he shot was at a couple that used to fight all the time. They fell in love with each other all over again because the arrow had almost killed him and they recognized each other's importance. But for Cupid, it meant he had powers. He kept on shooting arrows at people until one day when he wanted to be loved himself. So he shot himself in the gut. And he was instantly taken to the doctor. After he recovered and understood the importance of life, he meets this wordsmith who has a flaring passion for everything and hasn't decided his sexuality yet, but likes Cupid very much, so they fall in love. And Cupid sees the bitterness in the world against homosexuals and wants that to go away. Believing in his powers, he climbs the highest mountain around and shoots thousands of arrows in the sky. But this one particular arrow goes straight up and falls down right at him, and he dies right on the spot, and is buried at some cemetery where his lover, the wordsmith, dropped poems at his grave every day. Bundles and bundles got collected when one day he committed suicide. And years later, when the era of salesmen came in and marketers all around were looking for inspiration and ideas, they stumbled upon his grave. Beneath sand and rakes of leaves, they saw letters and poems that expressed a passion towards one another, admiration, love, and respect. Every letter ended with "From your Valentine." That caught on. They saw a lot of marketing potential. They followed their instincts, gave it a shot, the trend caught on, and now Valentine's Day is, well, Valentine's Day, where people in love unintentionally tease single people and make them feel alone, and while single people eat their committed friends' chocolates and get fat and read books and play games and chill till the point that they can be just as miserable as their committed friends. And they do ultimately, sooner or later. Happy Valentine's Day.